What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to our lab session. We got a special guest today. It's going to be interesting for those of you that love boxing. Here with Polk County's one and only Marco Fazzini. Tell people who you are and what you do.
I'm Coach Marco Fazzini, owner, head trainer at Winter Haven Boxing Gym. We train professional athletes and amateur athletes and beginners.
Cool stuff, man. So how long have you been coaching boxing?
Man, like almost 14 years now, around that.
14 years, man.
It's been a while now, man. Time flies, that's for sure.
A lot of experience, a lot of stories, man.
Yeah.
So how did you get into coaching boxing?
Well, I had to do a little bit of time, and then when I was around like 30, I was real big, like 360 pounds. Mm-hmm. And then I started going back to the gym. I used to go there when I was younger. And,
So it's a regular gym, not no boxing gym?
No, the boxing gym.
Okay.
And, it's a boxing gym. Nobody judges there. So go out there, beat the hell out of the bags, get back in shape. Boxing is a sport that I always loved. So naturally, that's also a part of a fitness thing. So I went there to lose weight. And I started working with the kids there and helping Tony stay organized at the gym and just kind of get active in the gym. And he told me I was good at it. He thought I would be good at it. And then I just continued.
Did you, like, people in your family do any boxing or anything like that? Or are you, like, one of the first ones in your family to start getting into boxing?
My great-grandfather was a prize fighter. Boxing's always been, like, a passion in my house, I guess. I know a lot of households, especially, like, Latin households. It's like
y'all watch the big fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, we always had bags. My dad had a heavy bag and speed bag and double end bag in the garage for us. And so it's like one of those things. I don't really remember life without boxing.
For sure. That what's up. So you was bigger, you said, 300 pounds, started boxing in the gym. How did that transition into coaching? So you start with the kids and then, like, when did it get serious for you?
Well, I grew up around good coaches, strength and conditioning coaches. My father was a wrestling coach and worked with James Henderson, one of the strongest men in the world. So I learned how to teach. I didn't realize that till later on. And my ability to teach is what carries me. So I learned how to teach and I tapped into that side of it more and how to really make people believe in themselves and push them in that way. So that's one of the aspects.
That's a big skill. It's crazy to say, though, being able to teach, because there's a lot of people who are like teachers or in coach positions, but they don't know how to teach. You know what I'm saying? It's really a skill to be able to, okay, you could talk to this person this way and make him understand, but you also make this person understand.
Absolutely.
And universally coach. I think that's what makes like a great coach, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I give a lot of credit to Coach Marsh, my high school football coach. We won state and everything he was involved in, and he was a great weightlifting coach. I learned a lot about anatomy. I learned a lot about, how to get people strong, how to believe in themselves. And, still to this day, I use some of his stuff, like the gassers, the suicides at the end of the leg workouts, little things like that, because I know they help. I know what he did. I know what he can do, and I know what people are capable of.
So when you first started coaching, were you dealing with pros or amateurs at the time?
I was just working with these three kids, Man, Keenan, and David. And Man and Keenan ended up becoming Golden Glove champions. Somewhere along the road, I started working. It all kind of happened at one time. I knew this guy named Coach Nick Sityar. He was coming up to the gym, and he saw that I was working with the kids, and then I would hit bags and work too. And he asked me if I would help out with a pro named Clarence Booth, who at the time was 1-1, and man, I love Clarence. Those were some of my best memories of coaching, and me coming in as the second. I think we won 7 in a row fights. We went down to Puerto Rico. He fought on a top rank card. Yeah. Another one here in Tampa. Pat Lynch signed him, come down to Florida. I was really proud of Clarence. Clarence was, man, like, I love that man still to this day. Those are the best memories of boxing. Like, he's actually the ideal type of character to train because he gives you everything he got when he commits. And I learned a lot from him because he showed me, like, dang, if he can do that, if he's digging that deep, now I know these other ones can dig that deep. You know what I mean? So it was crazy, and it was levels. It was learning.
That's cool what you said, though, because I had a few questions about that. How you said he kind of showed you, like, okay, I could push people this far. You know what I'm saying? You showed me there's a new limit to this. You know what I mean? So what are some things you look for in these fighters that you're training? You know what I'm saying? To know, like, okay, I'll take a little more time with him. I'll take him a little more serious. I could tell he really wants it, you know, compared to somebody else. What separates those two people? Someone who's just there training and someone who's there to really take this serious. You know what I mean?
I usually can know the first couple days. And it's not about because this one's not athletic and this one is athletic. That has nothing to do with this decision. The decision is strictly based on character. That's how you know. You know, when somebody doesn't like, they take corrections, they looking at you crazy, and you know they're doing it for different reasons, or they just don't really like it. You can tell they're kind of forced to be there, and it's not their thing. And then things like that. Physical, being an athlete in boxing is important, but it's not as important as it would be, like, per se, basketball or other sports where you have to be athletic and things like that. Boxing, I can take a guy, and I have taken a guy that doesn't have half the athletic ability as this guy, but he's got all the fight in him. And we'll beat this guy.
Facts.
You know what I mean? As long as he gets his fundamentals, technique,
because you can learn all those things. You can't learn character. You can't learn, like, having that dog in you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't learn twitch muscle, though. You can't learn certain athletic aspects either. So it goes on both ends. But one thing this guy can learn is the fundamentals and basics. They both got to learn that. And that's what's going to keep this guy safe. And he's got the heart and the right character, and he's determined to win and listen and throw the right punches. He will beat the athletic guy because fighting, it has nothing to do with athleticism. It's fighting. It's boxing.
Take one punch to get out of there, for sure. So with all that being said, what are some differences between training an amateur and then training a pro?
The amateurs,
those two different worlds now.
The amateurs can be frustrating. It's all love. I love it. I don't like working with a lot of kids unless they're real serious. You know, I got a gym right now. We got a lot of beginners in there, and we're having fun with it again. So that's good. But for the most part, I like the serious ones. I like the ones that are going to be there in the morning, 6 a.m., and I like the ones that's coming in the evenings. And some people say, hey, you're asking a lot out of a 10, 12-year-old, but, you know, that's what it takes. If this is an Olympic sport, you look at gymnastics or any really other sport, these kids start young.
Facts.
You know, Simone Biles, I could go on and on. Swimmers, you know, that's what it is. If you want to be the best, it's a sacrifice. And if the kid's willing to make it and he's there willingly, you got a star.
Yeah. And there's a lot of pros that they started boxing when like 8 years old, and they started. That's how they have like 300 plus amateur fights because they started at that age and working their way up, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. The pros, the kids is fun because you know you win the gold medals, you win the state titles, and they're developing. The pros, it's business. I think the pros was a little more natural for me because it's business. It's point blank. It's not no parent politics. I mean, outside of the business part, maybe, you know, in the gym, usually they're grown at that point and they're making their own decisions. And I can vibe off of that a lot easier. I'm very frank as well. So the pros, and I like the network. I like the business aspect. So that's natural for me. The kids, it's more, it's less, you got to be professional at all times, but it's more, you got to have love for it with the kids.
Yeah. You got patience is a big deal.
Yeah, and you travel all over around the country with these kids and stuff. So it's you're putting in a lot with them.
Yeah. Do you think the amateurs should get paid for fighting, or you think it should stay how it is? Where
I think they should be rewarded and could be awarded. They could work something out. You know, I think at certain levels they do get paid a little bit. They were in certain, if international titles, different things like that. Yes, they do. It's you got to be at the top tier for those types of things. Most amateurs never get paid, and it's something that the parents and the kids put so much time, money, blood, sweat, and tears in. So, I think maybe at the local level or something like that, they could be awarded some money. I don't know, but they would have to change the rules. I don't think that's legal per se.
Mm-hmm. You talked a little bit about what you look for to have a good fighter, but what does it take to make a good fighter as a coach? You know what I'm saying? Or like some things you have to do to put into this person, because you got to teach this person from your knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Let's say the basics. You know what I'm saying? You're starting from square one, so you have to have patience and things like that. What are some other things like that you need as a coach?
From square one, I mean, obviously, the fundamentals, the basics, the stepping, the throwing the jabs the right way, learning all the different jabs, learning that part of it is what comes with it. Now, if they're on a certain level, now they're past the state level where they're winning state titles. Now they're getting ranked in the nationals. Now it changes because now you're instilling something else in them, and you can't just teach them boxing. It doesn't work like that. You can't just teach them, okay, you can teach them counters and all that, but you really have to teach them that they can be better than anyone. They can be better than anyone.
So you're just trying like a mindset shift.
Yeah, you were at the gym for a while. You don't remember the morning workouts?
No, I remember a lot.
I would always just stay in Brandon's ear. He'd be doing 1,000 burpees, and what am I saying? You the best.
Yeah.
You the best. You the best. They can't touch us. I would walk around and talk to them, especially the ones that had fights coming up. And when you giving your coach 100% and he's preaching that in your ear, that's what you think's what it is. And I need that going into the fight. You know what I mean? I need that going into the fight. That's not all it is, because there's a plan, and you still got to, the boxing side is just as important. It's just, you got to tap into that side to really make them that dog that's going to be on the top tier.
Facts. Me and Brandon was talking about it when we did our interview, though, about Winter Haven being it's like a dog house, man. You're going to go in there, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're there in the morning workouts, you're going to turn into a dog for real. And, I have a lot of memories that stay with me from that gym, like I said, the morning workouts and stuff like that. And, like I said, being in the best shape that I was in ever at that point in time, too, So, there's a lot of things that go into it, man. And, like you said, you put in the work, you don't get something back from it, you know what I mean? So
100%, man, 100%. You got to put a lot of work in, though, if you want to try to get on that top tier.
Yeah, it's levels to this shit, though. It's levels to this shit. Yeah, you ain't gonna go in there and just
time and tension. You can't. You stop, you lose that much tension. Now you got to get it all back.
Facts, and that's it's one thing to be in shape. It's nothing to like fight in shape too. Like there's some dudes who think they gonna go in there and just go 6 rounds, and you're gonna go in there and do what you do. Nah, that shit of 3 minutes is real now. You know what I'm saying? That shit changed it.
It is. It really is.
So, I mean, I don't know if we really touch this a little bit, but it's like, can anybody become a good fighter? But you say you look for those certain characteristics. They got that.
I think anyone and everyone can do boxing. I think it's one of the greatest hobbies to have. I think anyone can learn it and love it and learn how to do the punches and learn how to defend themselves. So, do I think anyone can do boxing? Yeah. I think it's a great hobby. I think more people should do it. Do I think everyone can compete at the high levels of boxing? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I don't discourage people from not trying to box. I think it's great for eye-hand coordination. I mean, the doctors tell people with Parkinson's go to do that.
Really?
They're not getting hit, but the skill, the throwing the punches, the eye-hand coordination, the endurance, the heart and lung. Yeah, Parkinson's, it's big with boxing.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now, I do always recommend people, especially, I worked in the prison for a few years, and I went from the prison to the jail and stuff like that. And I just think it's a good skill to have no matter what, to defend yourself. Like, as a man, you should be able to defend yourself in any situation, or feel like you can at least, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
So, and I tell a lot of people, like, at least train for a year seriously, like, in the gym for at least a year. Because once you learn those fundamentals, like you said, as long as you keep up with them, you'll have them for life, you know what I mean? What do you think about that? You think, how long should somebody stay in the gym to keep those skills with them?
You got to be in there for a while to really absorb it the right way and be around it. Watch boxing at home. You know what I mean? If you're an avid fan and then you're actually doing it in the gym, you're going to learn it. You know what I'm saying? So I would say like a solid 2 years in the gym to have them down pat. Just the basics and fundamentals. If you box for 10 years, you know what I mean, you're a master boxer at that point. So that's what they would call it. And, you know, then you can pretty much teach at that point.
How do you feel about, we talk about people being able to coach, like that's a skill, right? How do you feel about people that coach but are coaching the wrong things? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out there with the internet out there too, you know what I'm saying? It's over too much information, you know? And some people are teaching people the wrong things when it comes to boxing. You know, how do you feel about that?
It's 2026 and everybody's trying to do a trick, you know what I mean? Like everyone's a boxing coach. There's more boxing coaches than ever, you know what I mean? There was no boxing gyms around here before. It was, you had us, you wanted to go to a gym, you had to go way to hell over to St. Pete. There was Orlando.
And they wouldn't just let people in there at that point either, right?
No, and they were usually more serious. Like they're businesses now, and everyone's a coach. And but they thin out. It thins out once you're competing. It thins out.
You know who's really like that. Who's not like that.
You got 100 million mitt man, and that don't know and don't have the ability to teach, and they're just out there doing tricks on the mitts and doing that, and they can get a kid to a certain point, and that's all they're ever going to do, and they don't really know how to get his mindset and his physicality to the point where he's got to teach or win bigger fights. So it thins out real quick. If you go to the biggest tournaments, you'll see the same coaches all the time. If I go to these open shows around here, I see 1 million people nowadays. I don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're trying to compete, that goes into another thing. He brought up a good point. If you're trying to compete, get with somebody who knows what they're doing, because you don't want your kid to get punched on. I've gone to some open shows around here, and I'm like, man, these kids aren't ready to compete. You know what I mean? And I don't say nothing, but you see it. It's clear.
And this ain't a sport you playing. You know, I was always taught that when I was in gym with you guys. Like, this ain't a sport you play. Like, yeah, it's fun. You know what I'm saying? It's exciting and stuff like that. But like, in the grand scheme of things, like you can get hurt doing this.
No, they're gonna hit you right in your shit. And I mean, imagine you see how parents react when their kid gets fouled at a basketball game. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, they want to go crazy. Now imagine that. They see their same kid getting punched on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can't do nothing about it because they're in the ring, and that's the damn sport you chose. So don't be competing and don't play with it. You don't play boxing. If you want to have it as a hobby, I recommend it for everyone, like I said. But if you're going to compete, you need to be with a coach that knows what they're doing, because you're going to be getting punched on.
We say like, okay, don't play with boxing though, right? But someone who's training, right? I always say it's one thing to hit the mitts, it's one thing going to hit the bag and do all that and look pretty, right? But none of that shit matters till you spar. I always say sparring is more important. Even if you don't do nothing else, sparring is where you know if you're actually utilizing the stuff you learn. You know what I'm saying? For somebody who's not competing, how much would you recommend that person spar?
If they're not competing and they just want to spar, because sparring is actually, we're going to learn how to fight. You know, the other stuff is going to get you in shape to spar and fight. And let's see. What was the question again? I want to make sure I answer it right.
I'm saying, because like some people don't want to compete, right?
Okay, they just want to learn how to defend themselves. They want to defend themselves, right?
But in my opinion, though, I always say, like, it's one thing to hit the mitts, it's nothing to hit the bag, but none of that stuff matters. And like, you have to go spar to make sure you're actually understanding what you're using. You know what I mean? You
got to spar kind of a lot to actually learn it, and then you learn it. And then at that point, if you're just trying to maintain it and not compete, I would recommend sparring maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then continue to do your training, you know, and then running, because most people in the street ain't gonna fight with about 30, 45 seconds.
That's real.
You see what I'm saying? So a guy that knows how to fight, if he gets in a fight in the street, the fight's gonna end either very quickly, or the other guy's just gonna get tired because he got lucky, and the fighter's just like, all right.
I'm gonna spare you now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you live.
I'm sparing you. You know what I mean? Go catch your breath, leave him alone, or smack him maybe. I don't know, but it's nice to have that option. I think more Americans need to get their kids in combat sports. Honestly, in Europe, it's big. You know, people need to learn how to defend themselves. You see these crazy videos where kids are getting picked on and stuff. It's unnecessary. You know, I think people need all put. Jiu-jitsu's great, boxing's great, kickboxing's great. You know, all that stuff's good as long as it's really real stuff that you can use and it's real.
Yeah,
you know.
Facts. Yeah, I've always liked boxing. Like you said, and like I'm half Puerto Rican though, so like my family. I remember when we was younger, like they would always pay for the biggest fights and pay-per-view fights. So I remember seeing it growing up.
It's
and I
a
never,
part of you.
Yeah, I never had no fighters in my family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's what like made me want to start getting into boxing and stuff like that. And like you said, like just finding something that you can actually utilize is so important. Because like I never been into MMA. I do like going to the UFC fights or like watching those because they do. It's really real energetic when you're there. But I personally wouldn't do it. Like I'm not into all that kicking or bitch kicking. I'm not into all that. You know what I'm saying? Personally, but like you said, it definitely is a good skill to have. Another thing I want to get into is when it comes to boxing, would you say what's the percentage of mental and physical? You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of like digging deep. How you say like a lot of it, like you got people doing things that you don't think they would do. When I used to be there, like when I first started going to morning workouts, I'm like, bro, this shit hell. But it gets easier over time the more you go. You know what I mean?
And then later on in life, you do something and you're like, I can do this.
Yeah, like it's a breed. Now I got more confidence.
Yeah, those type of experiences make it something later on in life easier, and you don't realize it. And whether it's a game of basketball or whatever it is, you'd be like, let's run into that. Let's run it again. Let's run it again. Because now you're willing to take it somewhere else.
It's like, if I did this, I could definitely do this.
Yeah, you know what you're capable of now.
Those are some things I took with me from...
See, I was teaching.
All those, but I'm saying, I was 18, 19 at the time when I was in the gym. And I'm 24 now, so it was like a lot of those experiences I still talk about and do now, you know what I'm saying? With a lot of different things.
It's kind of like a military atmosphere, but a street atmosphere. Like,
but you know what's cool? And me and Brandon was talking about this too, because I've been to other gyms too. Like Winter Haven is just different, because even this, right? Being in there with no AC during the summer, going hard, doing rounds, like that shit is different. Because when you go to these other gyms, they have AC. They're in there, it's nice and cold. You know what I'm saying? They get a little bit longer breaks when they spar. I'm like, bro, you really turn to a dog in that gym. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, those things showed me it's like, okay, I'm capable of doing something bigger and better than I can even imagine, you know.
We would, I mean, it's the Polk County, you know what I mean? We're still old Florida. Yeah. Most of these other places, everybody's from everywhere else. This is old Florida. Polk County, we got tough people here naturally, and that's the atmosphere it is. It was never a sweet place to be, you know what I mean? And it's not meant to be. It wasn't like that before I was a head coach, and I don't intend it. If you want to, we're making fighters. So we're making fighters. That's what it is. There was a time where me and B would be July, and instead of opening the windows, let the place cool off, we would have sparring on the way. We would keep it all closed.
Yeah.
And then when the sparring got here, we would finally open the door. And when they would walk in, they would be like, "What in the hell is going on?" And me and B, like, it was another day. I would open all the windows at that point, but you could see just their face, like, these dudes are crazy. The sauna gym. The sauna gym.
Facts, man. Like, someone came in there, and they were real unserious at first. So you could tell they was kind of bullshitting, playing around. And then like a switch flip. You know what I'm saying? You had people like that coming there before?
Yeah, I got a kid in there right now, Chris, Puerto Rican kid. He didn't listen, mouthy as hell. You know how that work in my gym.
Yeah, he ain't last long.
Yeah, he got embarrassed a couple times, but now he's humbled. And it was hard for him to bend. You know what I mean? You can't come in to the gym and do things, and then I'm there to teach you, and then you just doing whatever you want.
You're not gonna go in and do it your way. You're gonna do it the right way and get the fuck on.
And talking back and all that. Yeah, he was bad. He was bad, and just wouldn't listen at all. But he was coming every day, and then finally he complied. I was like, listen, this is boxing, and if you disrespect boxing, she will smack the shit out of you and embarrass you. I said, you got to listen and do things a way that I'm telling you. And then I said, you will develop your own style. In my gym, everyone has their own style. They got to learn the basics and fundamentals, but I don't believe in making them all do one thing. So I was giving them that. I was like, trust me, you're going to have your own style. You got to do shit this way. And stop with all the talking about it. He got humbled a couple times in there, got his ass whooped. I embarrassed him a couple times because he was running his mouth. But
that's part of it, though, man. That's part of the experience, bro.
A lot of people quit that are like it, or like they just don't understand, and they think I'm trying to disrespect them, and it's just this, that. But now he's there. He's when I see him big. Now he's happy to see me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bob, he does the program. He doesn't have no problem
Yeah.
with it. You know what I mean? He knows I get busy. He's on point, and that's when you get more attention from me actually. So he's rocking and rolling. I'm ready for him to whoop someone's ass at the Sugar Bird tournament.
Facts, man. That's what's up. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, he's nice.
I was gonna say, me and B was talking about it too when I did an interview with him as well. We were saying like he emphasized on, man, you need to get your ass beat. Like that's what he says. You need to get your ass beat, right? And it's funny and it sounds crazy, but like sparring, like you're going there that first time, and it might happen to you. You might get your ass beat, but the difference is who's gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people that go in there and that happens and they don't come back, or they come, but you could tell they low key don't want to be like you said. But when somebody comes back after getting their ass beat and then come in there again and again and do it again, I feel like that separates who want it and who need it. You know what I'm saying?
You got to get your ass beat. That's what everyone should get their ass beat a couple times and have the chance to fight back and still get their ass beat. It changes you. You know what I mean? It humbles you. If you're really serious about the rah-rah, then you're going to buckle down and learn a skill set. If not, it's going to humble you, and you'll become a person that won't bother people.
You say,
I'm trying to be as frank as I can.
Staying out the way now. That point. I know it, man.
They gonna learn like, oh, okay, this is reality. I'll stay out the way. You're a much nicer person now. You're acting like who you really are, anyways, which is nicer for everybody.
If you know what, this is a good perspective to have, though. You know, this has been going on for the past few years. A lot of gun violence and stuff going on. Do you think if we, like you said, put more kids into boxing at a younger age, you think that would resolve that kind of issue if everybody knew how to fight? Because I say this all the time, like. We're in these southern states. We all have guns, right? And if everybody got a gun, it's kind of like you got one, I got one. We gonna keep the peace. Yeah. Boxing the same way. If you go in there, everybody knows how to fight. There's a mutual respect going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Do you think that was
knowing the skill set of fighting kept me out of a lot of trouble, whether it was locked up or when I was out in the street. It kept me protected at times when I did had to defend myself. You know what I mean? And also, you just get a respect because people are like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not where it's. If everyone's just chill and actually they are, nobody should be fighting. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? But if it gets to that point,
and you know what you can do to somebody too, so it's kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, you know how to fight. It's not going to be some crazy moment. It's going to be a moment that you just got to take care of things and do what you were learned to do. It's training. It's like they drop troops off in the middle of war. You know what I mean? They all can die, or they can just stay to their training and do what they're supposed to do, come out alive. You know what I mean? Like it's just something like a reflex. Yeah. And if you can train yourself enough and get good at, then that's what it is. So okay, it's time to fight. It's a reflex instead of a fear. That's why it's good for kids. Nobody wants their kid to be scared. Yeah. That's the feeling. I know I have a son, and like him being scared of something, it hurts me inside. You know what I mean? But if I know that he gets in a situation where he's confident, I can look at him and be like, okay. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about him as much. You know what I mean? So. Do
you kind of push him to do those kind of things, like get out of his comfort zone, push him when he's scared?
He's kind of outgoing anyway.
That's his personality.
I was blessed. Like all he wants to do is sports. He does sit-ups. Probably growing up around his dad being a coach. Yeah. He maybe thinks that's the norm.
But that's good though.
Like all he knows is jumping ropes. Yeah. If he wants to box, he's in a great place. I'll take him to wherever he needs to do. If not, that's fine too. I'm not going to push him to box, but he will learn how to defend himself. And he does the metabolic workouts. He's been doing the morning workouts since he was like.
Yeah, I remember when I was there. That was a few years ago now. It was
he's in great shape. My daughter is too. Being around boxing has helped my kids. They're both in great shape, and she's winning gold medals in gymnastics and stuff from doing metabolic workouts and going to her gymnastics stuff. I'm telling you, more people need to do combat sports. It helps in every aspect. If you play basketball and you do a combat sport, you'll get better at basketball.
You've had football players come to the gym before too, just to train, or some people go in there. Like a lot of other athletes go there all the
time. Freddie Stevenson came. He came his junior year. He spent a summer with us. And I'm not taking credit, Freddie, for all your success. But because that's my boy, and I like him. He's a God-fearing man. He's a good guy. He came and did basically a 90-day camp with us, and went back up there. Man, he balled out his senior year. I think the boxing just made the time on the field easier. You become a leader when you don't get tired. You become a leader when you learn how to dig deep. So I know the boxing helped him tremendously. I mean, he did that senior year. We were all watching. because he just spent a camp with us. I'm not a Florida State fan. Here I am watching every game because I want to see Freddie play.
Crazy out there.
Walter Clayton, he plays for the Utah Jazz now. Plays for the Gators. He spent his dad, Walter Clayton. They're both Walter Clayton Jr. was the one doing it. He used to bring him up there. He spent a summer with B at the old gym. He was young then.
Before when
he was he was in high school. So even before he played for Florida and did college, he did some metabolic workouts. I mean, the list goes on. Travis Henry used to come through.
I remember one time, I think it was like it was some younger dudes in there one time, but it was like a basketball team that came there just to train. I think it was one day to train. You was working there. You was had him going through the whole thing.
The Frostproof basketball team's coming. I've had the soccer team come. Like I said, Travis Henry came in and Dan was there for a long time doing the metabolic workouts. He was bringing his son up there. Tons of athletes.
No, that's what's up, man. That is a lot. And like you say, no matter what, everybody can benefit from going to a boxing gym. You know what I'm saying? No matter who you are, where you come from. And it's like in there too, like the work speaks for itself, you know what I'm saying? You don't gotta really go in there and do too much. You don't gotta say this, say that. It's like go in there and put the work in, you earn your respect, you know what I mean? What you put in, you get out. But that's with anything in life, you know?
Yes.
Another thing I want to ask you is what are some things that go on as a coach behind the scenes that people don't see? Because, you know, it's one thing for me to go in there, hit the bag, and do all these things, you know what I'm saying, and push myself like that. But you got to really work with somebody and keep their mindset high, make them believe in themselves, like you said. And that could be draining as a coach, you know what I'm saying? That you're essentially giving some of your energy to people every day, you know what I'm saying? And as a teacher, as a coach, that's a lot, and people don't see that or they don't understand that. 'Cause, you know, it's easy for me to go in there and just do my thing, you know what I'm saying? You tell me what to do and I just knock it out. It's nothing for you to have to plan, say, okay, I need him to do ABC, so it gets here. You're thinking of the future, you know what I'm saying? That's what a fighter always have to think about, those background things, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, a lot of stuff. It goes from the physicality parts of it. Like I could see a fighter, I think his hips and feet are moving too slow for me, so I'm gonna say, okay, this week we doing plyos for the legs, and the whole gym got to do it, but I'm doing it for this one person. I could like punches are slow. We're gonna run this type of mitts. Just yesterday, I had two fighters in mind, but I made all the amateurs do the same routine: the galloping in and out, half stepping, moving the hips side to side, so everyone benefits. But I might have planned that the night before for these two guys.
Yeah.
So those physicalities come into play. And you're giving them pieces of you in that way as far as knowledge. I'm just like a messenger. You know what I'm saying? I try to get knowledge and I give it to you. The knowledge I learned when I was young, I passed that. Now, the other side of it is when they get more serious, and now that, you know, you got a kid that has 60, 70 fights. And, you know, he's in it to win it. You know what I mean? He's trying to make the Olympics, and he's winning things. And he's ranked number 1 in the United States, number 2 in the United States, and he's touching numbers. Now, you want to protect him in other ways, you know what I mean? You're concerned. You're giving him life information as well. You know what I mean? He's becoming a young man. He's traveling, taking flights. He's not doing what normal kids do. You know, we're getting rental cars. He's seeing how I move. He's seeing how adults move, and he's moving like that already. And now you're giving them a piece of you in another way, like the fatherly side of you, you know, and then you actually love these kids. So now you want what's best for them. And that's different. Teaching them how to become a dog. And, you know, it's crazy because you got to teach them almost how to not give a fuck about anything and still get a gentleman out of them. You know what I mean? I don't know how many times throughout the years, you know, especially earlier, I would have to teach the kid how to hold fork and knife, cut his food, all this stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm traveling around with these kids. I'm like, no. Y'all got to conduct yourself in a different way than this. You know, I'm not
how to move and operate.
Yeah. You know, and so it's a lot. Maybe that, you know, you're a teacher, you know, and you're a fatherly figure as well at that point. You know, they got to really lock in to get that side of me, at least.
No, for sure. Would you train somebody different based on their personality? Like, let's say somebody come there a little more like of a hothead versus somebody who maybe like real timid, you know what I'm saying?
Well, like I was telling you, Chris, I had a guy named Chris, hothead, running his mouth. only want to spar.
That's all he want to do is spar all the time.
He don't want to hit bag. He don't want to do the technique the way I say. You know, I'm on mitts. He's still doing it his way, right in front of my face when I'm holding the mitts for him. But he turned into, but he had fight in him. And I respect that. Some people it's too much. Some people they got so much hate in them. I've had fighters come in there and they get the brakes beat off of them, and they still gonna walk up to the guy and spit blood on him.
That's crazy.
You know,
as hell,
you're
bro.
literally on
You
the
just
edge.
got beat, you about to die, bitch.
Like if we was in the jungle, you would be your last breaths. You're gonna go spit blood on the guy. Like you got people that just ain't right. You know, and I had a lot of people come in
crazy,
like that. They're just so disrespectful that they don't realize they're not disrespecting me. They're disrespecting the universe, and they're disrespecting their life.
It's gonna come back around.
They value nothing. You know what I mean? And yeah, I've had people like that come in there, believe it or not. And then I've had people that were almost to that point that could turn and get out of them. But you know, it's nuts, man. Like
there's so many stories we could probably
it
tell.
Is crazy. Man. Yeah, I've seen some things go down. And
what about somebody who's like a little more timid? You know what I'm saying? Like not as vocal. You know what I'm saying? He go in there, he work, but you could tell like he's not outgoing. You know what I'm saying? What do you do with those? Do you like really encourage and push those kind of people, or do you kind of let them like slowly ease into it?
It just depends. I've had good pros. Felix Mansueta. I don't know if you remember Felix.
He's Dominican, right?
Yeah, Dominican man, great guy, soft spoken. He don't say much to a lot of people. If you didn't know him and he was just sitting there, you know, he just, you know, he's chill and not so outgoing, you know. But
he worked though.
But he worked, and listen, outgoing is good and stuff. Listen, I got guys that can fight their ass off that don't have a lot of followers on Instagram. Yeah. You know, I know undefeated fighters that only have that aren't really known that much. Yeah. They just go do their job, and it's just not their character. They can learn how to fight though if they, you know what I mean? Yeah, that character type can learn how to fight. You got some people that are just so nice, and it's just not in them either, and they're just not going to do it. You got some people that think nice, man. You got people that think they're mean, and they go. I've had Division I athletes. I ain't gonna say no names. I had Division athletes come in there and spar, and once they get struck one time with a right hand, they will literally look at me like, "This ain't for me. Take the shit off my head. Take the shit off." I respect that. I respect that more.
You still went in and tried though. I can't wait. You went in
willing to try, but I respect that he knows it ain't for him. You know what I mean? He's like, all right. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get your ass beat to know. If that's
I remember my first time sparring in the gym. Man, I never forgot the story. I forgot the dude's name, man. But I remember I got hit with a hook, and I don't know what the hell happened, but I got hit hard as shit, and I started freaking out. And you had grabbed me. You was like, "Hey man," you like, "Calm the fuck down." You like, "Bro, you're good, bro. You're fucking good. Calm down." That was my first time sparring in that gym. Right, and I used to fight like in my backyard of school with some friends, so I thought I was fucking nice and shit like that, and so I went in there and got hit for real for the first time, and they like calm down, and that was my introduction. I never forgot that shit, but I came back and showed up the next day. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm sure there's thousands of young men right now that have a story about their first day of sparring, especially in that gym. Probably about 6 months old. This kid, he did. I mean, he's not a kid. He's 20 years old. To me, that's still a young kid. Did great. He didn't even realize he was beating up all the other guys. They're all beginners, but he's beating them all up. But after his third round, you're supposed to stay in the corner, get you a break, and help with the other ones. You know, everyone's trying to get their work. Man, this guy falls out of ropes like he's dying, flops on the ground, breathing all hard, and I'm like, man, get up, get the fuck up. I said, this is a boxing gym, yo. Like, you're gonna be tired regardless. You're gonna be tired looking like a bitch. You're gonna be tired looking like a man. It's a choice you make. You know what I mean? I give everyone that to think about that because it's true. You can walk, keep a straight face, and breathe, or you can flop all over the ground and act a fool.
You know that
I dumped the whole cooler of water on him right there in front of him.
Ice
it all right on his ass. He got right up and started walking around.
I put some life back into him. Man. On a serious note, though, you know that's one thing I learned in, like you said, there's so many things I learned in boxing that transition to your outside life is like, okay, you might get hit with a shot in boxing, right? but you can't let your opponent know that you hurt. You know what I mean? And I feel like I took that with me in life. Like, no matter what's going on.
Poker face.
Yeah, I got some shit going on. I could have the worst day of my motherfucking life, but you wouldn't even know. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm going to keep a smile on my face. I'm going to keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? And we'll keep putting in that work. You know what I'm saying? Until things get back right. That's one thing I took.
Remember that y'all, I would always, during the day, I call it poker face, but in the morning, Brandon would be like, no bitch face.
Yeah.
We always say that. No bitch face. You tired from them burpees? Nobody need to know. Just breathe, drink your water.
Facts.
Like, the calmer you stay, it helps. It helps in a million different ways. And now in the fight, you in a big fight, you keep that calmness. You learn to control your heart. And you keep
breathing
that.
techniques.
In the worst situations, you stay focused. You're not freaking out, acting a fool.
And that way you can handle other stress in your life now too. Like you say, you play when you get some bad news. All right, fuck it. How do we fix this now? Learn how to stay calm and really process. And okay, how do I move past this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's one big thing I learned from boxing that took with me in my day-to-day life. You know what I mean? This one a little funny. I guess you could get into the story if you want to. Have you ever had to kick somebody out the gym?
Multiple times.
Those guys that you saying would just take it too far and stuff like that. But you have a story you want to share about a time you had to kick somebody out the gym? One time specifically.
We've had gyms come to our gym and we kick they whole ass out our gym. Where it's almost like our gym on them. Yeah, that's happened like 3 times.
That's crazy, man.
I remember, it's crazy. Years go by quick. It's like
gym beef.
And then we've had instances where we've thrown a lot of people out that, acting a fool. Just it's boxing. It's the closest sport. It's the sport closest to the streets. I get characters that come in there that you're not gonna come into the karate class.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And there's just some people, like I said, man, they're full of hate. They don't know when enough is enough. They can't listen. They always got to talk back. They got to do stuff like that. That's not going to work in a combat sport atmosphere at all. It's not going to work. And, I've threw people over. I threw someone in the garbage can one time. Put their ass right in the garbage can.
Hey, what's funny? People who don't know you're going to watch this, and you're like, nah, but they don't know, there's a lot of crazy shit, man, that has gone on. Yeah. That he's really like that, bro. That's funny.
I'm not gonna speak on any.
We ain't gotta say too much.
On anyone, but I did put someone in the garbage can one time, and that was pretty funny. My brother, he's an assistant coach of mine, Andre. Dre, you remember Dre?
Yeah.
I done seen him throw someone through the window before.
That's great. That's a big dude too, man. Big dude.
He grew up. We should call him Andre Fazzini. He grew up with me.
That's funny.
Yeah, fighting's always been a part of that household.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, a lot of great stories, a lot of great experiences, man. For somebody who's getting into boxing, right? Let's say they want to start. What would be some workouts you would have them start doing to begin with? You know what I mean? Out of shape, like ain't never done a sport in his life.
Okay. It's this generation has gone away from this small little thing, jump rope. Jump rope. We talked about athleticism early. How come I can give an athlete a jump rope right now and he don't know how to jump rope? But I got boxers that couldn't even run correctly or not athletic at all. I don't know if you remember Martine, man. I've had some kids that you would be like, wow, this kid's never gonna be. I've had kids you'd be like, wow, he'll never be that good, or he'll never be a fighter. He's not athletic. He's slow, runs slow. They skipping rope. That's an athlete. Yeah. Running. Jumping rope, go run. Jumping rope, go run. You want to learn coordination? Jump rope. And if you're big and you weigh a lot, jump rope. Your body will not stay real heavy if it got to bounce up and down. I promise you start cutting that weight. You know what I mean? Go to bed hungry at night sometimes. You'll drop that weight and keep jumping rope and running.
When you say run, how much would you recommend somebody run? Like mile-wise?
A young fighter, I would recommend 3 to 4. And if he's an amateur, maybe try to get that 3 miles down.
Like get the time?
Down. Yeah, he can't just be jogging like he's my age out there. You know what I mean? I can walk fast and go that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's got to be moving.
Push yourself a little bit.
He's got to be moving. You know, if he can hit 7-minute miles, 3 7-minute miles in a row. That was 21 minutes.
20 minutes, 3 miles.
Yeah. So, and then I've had touched to have people touch 18. You know, they're riding out though.
Yeah.
Their cardiovascular.
18 is real. No, 18 is fast as hell, bro. I've hit like 21, but 18 is pressure. You know who's fast is Brandon. I remember we was running late way back when. And I know he still runs late, but bro, he's 200 plus pounds though, bro. And
is he still running it that fast?
I don't know anymore. I just know back then I always used to look at that shit like, bro, what the hell? And I would try to keep up with him, and he would like, bro, he's fast as fuck, but he's big too. That's the thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he's competitive too.
He don't want you to
keep up with him now. Yeah, he don't want you to keep up.
He gonna see this now. We gonna see what his time. We're gonna post his time now next time we go out.
That's my dog. That's my dog.
So that's funny though, man. For sure.
Crazy ass fighting at the Dirty Boxing, not this weekend, the weekend after.
What is that? That's like a separate
Man, it's got like 250,000 followers on it.
Really?
Yeah, Jim Jones and Mike Perry are about to fight each other on it.
Mike Perry, that's bare knuckles.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it ain't bare knuckles. The padding is about the size of a pro glove. That's why I was a little less concerned. But you can use forearm and elbow.
You can?
Yeah.
That's different.
And Tristan don't give a damn.
And he fought in the octagon one time too, I think. He's done a lot of
It doesn't go on his boxing record, but the stage and the platform is
major.
major.
People are seeing that. Like, who is this guy?
It's star-studded. And last time I went there, Trick Daddy sat right next to me.
Yeah.
And Tristan don't listen good in the ring anyways. I said, watch Trick. He ain't going to listen to the shit I say.
Yeah.
And then Trick just looked at me and kind of chuckled. I went up to the ring and he can hear. It's be like me here. He can hear everything I'm saying to Tristan.
Yeah.
I'm like, Tristan, you got to do this. Please, you're going to give this fight away if you don't fucking do what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You got these moments. You're better than him. What is you doing? You know what I mean? Do these things. I went back and sat down. I looked at Trick. I said, watch, he ain't going to do none of that shit.
Yeah.
And he laughed again about halfway through the round. He said, Coach, he ain't listening.
At all, man. He won, though?
No. He lost against some karate dude because they were swinging elbows and shit.
I was about to say, win's a win.
He didn't even get hit. He's a fucking mess. He just won. He just knocked somebody, scored a knockout his last fight to the body.
Yeah.
He fight anyone. His record's crazy. That motherfucker fights undefeated prospects.
That's good, though. That's experience, though, man.
He knows what it is. He never fought out of state.
Yeah.
As an amateur. He never cut weight as an amateur. He just was like
just going there and
surfer dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm boxing because I'm getting chicks.
That's cool shit,
You
though,
see what
man.
I'm saying? And now he's a pro. He's like, this shit's more real now.
Yeah.
Actually, now he's better than he's ever been.
That's what's up, man. You've seen the growth and development with some of these guys too, and that's what's cool. Like,
yeah.
you literally seen some of these folks grow because Tristan's been going on for years, right? Tristan's been there for a long time, man.
He's been there a long ass time.
Seen all the ups and downs and all that kind of stuff, man. For sure. What's some of the biggest mistakes you see a lot of beginners make going into the gym?
Doing whatever they see on the social media.
Yeah.
Golly, I got one kid right now. He's got capabilities, and he shut his mouth now, and now he's doing things my way. Yesterday, well, not my way, the right way. I shouldn't say that because my way could be the wrong way, and that's why it's important to learn what you're teaching and learn how to teach because it's just important. So he's doing things the right way, and just yesterday he said that man, I feel so much stronger when I punch. He feels better.
Sees the difference.
Yeah. So if you're watching, if you're at home and you're trying to learn this, and you're watching, just know there's a million coaches out there, you know, and they're trying to teach you little side steps. There's a lot of moves now that didn't exist when I was young. A lot of people don't know that.
In regards to boxing,
yeah. There's a lot of moves now. And there's a lot of European influence and Soviet influence in the boxing game now, the styles. But when they go pro and it turns into 8, 10, 12 round fights, a lot of that bullshit goes away.
Yeah.
Now they kind of got to go back to
the basics.
And it shows. You can't just jump around like a bunny. Some of these styles aren't realistic. They work good in 3 2-minute fight,
they look
2-minute
pretty.
round, 3 rounds.
Yeah.
You know, you can do that. But if you're in there with a dog that you can't really hit because he's slick right there and he's in front of your face and he can box, now you're going to be bouncing around like a bunny in the 6th round? Are you still doing that in the 8th round?
Yeah.
Or now you got to fight me. You know what I mean? There's a difference. There's a lot of different influences. You're learning this style, and you're not learning the basics and fundamentals. So all this shit you're learning doesn't work correctly. And so this kid I got right now, he's got ability, but like 2 weeks ago he was doing all this fancy shit.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't realistic. And now he sees why he has to do it this way. I said, you're going to develop your own style. Just chill. but you got to learn this.
I had another coach tell me that one time too, man.
Yeah. I had a homeboy. He was in prison for a long time, and he could fight his ass off. He was a professional fighter. He got out of prison, and he came in there with shadow boxing. And when they got on the mitts, he was doing all kind of fancy shit, and he knew the game. But nobody was correcting him over and over and over and over for years. By the second round, he goes, "God damn!" He's like, "I can't stop doing this dumb shit."
Yeah,
even he knew he was wrong because now we're in there and we're working on the real deal. And he's like, "Yeah." So, you know what I mean? It works like that.
That's funny you said though too. With that being said, like some people would train the wrong shit for so long that it's like it's ingrained in them now. So you know how to do the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? Versus the right shit, having to relearn, reprogram. That's why
creatures of habit.
You saying that though, like you really got to hone in on the basics, and once you get that, then you can move on to these other
one step at
things.
a time. The first thing to do is learn how to set in your stance and throw punches. If I can get you to throw 50 punches and you sitting there, and now you learn your balance, because a lot of people are falling forward and back. Once I can get in there and rotating, throwing hard and not losing their balance, now we step in. And then the basics, the square, then we get into the circle, then we get into the 45 degrees, 90 degrees.
That's one thing. Like I show my friends that line you used to put us on, just that line, just move forward and move backwards on that line. And then like you sit there in that square too, working on the pivots. I always
toe to heel.
I still do those now too. Some of those drills, like if I'm out there fucking around, like that, just to get right.
Bringing your feet, turning, all that.
Yeah, just moving forward, backward, and then even just like pivoting, going around that square too. Those are very good drills. I was gonna say I had a coach tell me this too a long time ago about looking pretty. It's like this ain't a pretty sport. You know what I'm saying? You don't go in there trying to look pretty, throw the right punch, always trying to throw that big shot. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta throw the motherfuckers. I remember Tristan told me that a long time ago too. When I had my first fight, I lost my first fight, and he said you were thinking about throwing punches. The other opponent was throwing punches. That was the difference. And that shit stuck with me my whole time. I like, damn. And I took that shit with me though. I'm like, okay, cool. Like sometimes you just gotta go in there and do certain things. You just gotta fucking do it, man. Stop trying to think about shit and just motherfucking do it. You know what I mean?
Damn,
that's a lesson that I took from Tristan a long time ago, man. But yeah, shit get ugly, man. Shit ain't always pretty.
Okay, so you have fighters that try to look pretty, and then they might actually get pretty good because they can slide off by getting pretty in a novice level. But fighters that try to look pretty, if you take that away from them, they panic. They panic. There's been plenty of times where I've had one of my fighters in the ring, and I'm like, stay behind that jab, stay right in his face. He's just trying to look pretty. As soon as you take that from him, he's cooked. Because he really don't know how to fight. He know how to be like, and then move, and then grab you and clinch. I had a kid just lose in Ohio, and I'm like, how did these kids win these fights? They barely touch him, and running. And then when they get cracked, you can see the change. You know what I mean? It's like, but like I said, they'll skirt off on those little short fights, 2-minute rounds. You know what I mean?
You get by.
Yeah, right now, you see after the fight, they breathe because they were really on the run the whole time.
Facts. That's different, man.
You got to learn how to shut that down. But so fighters that try to look pretty, or if you're just concerned about looking pretty, then you're in the wrong sport, because you're going to get hit right in your shit. It's never going to look, you ain't going to look pretty when you got a black eye. You're not going to look pretty when your lips busted up, or it doesn't feel pretty when you can't chew your food that night because you had a hard sparring session. And if you don't feel like, oh, he got the best of me, I got to get that back tomorrow, then you're in the wrong sport. And there's nothing pretty about that side. Pretty boys usually don't last. Now, I got fighters that dress clean, and if you saw him out in the public, you'd be like, he's a pretty boy. But as soon as he come out of that shirt, it's going to be up if you try.
Straight action, BDA, about that action. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, most boxers are humble, and if you see them in public, most real good boxers are humble. If you see them in public, you probably don't know they're fighters, because boxers aren't huge guys. Granted, my heavyweight, Brandon, he's a big guy, he's a heavyweight. But if you see these guys, you know what I'm saying?
Like Ron Davis is like, what, 135?
Yeah, like 147.
He's short too, like 5'5" or something like that.
And they're lean, so in their shirts, they almost look skinny.
Yeah.
You know, they look like skinny. They got to come out that shirt.
Though, they shredded, lean as hell, man.
They're ready to fight. They're not ready to power lift. They're not ready to do something that only takes 10 seconds. They're ready to do something for a long period of time. And they're ready to get down.
Yeah. And they said boxing one of the hardest sports in the world, man.
100%.
Yeah, they say boxing.
I've never heard any different. That was in Sports Illustrated way back, like when I was 15. I remember reading that because I was always a boxing fan.
Yeah.
So you read something and it sticks with you.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't ever remember that not being said that. There's MMA guys that come in and they strictly come in because they're like, man, this shit is hard. You're getting hit, and then some people's natural instincts to grab, and you can't. You learn how to fight. You got to figure it out here. You know what I'm saying? To slip and to block and to punching back. And that's what makes it extremely hard. So MMA fighters will come in and they'll tell us like, man, this is my cardio is this shit right here. And I'm like, why? They're like, because I could choke you up and like we can get a little break. He's like, maybe that's just what I'm used to. He goes, he said, maybe that's just what I'm used to. But when I come here, he's like, I feel like I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure. No, that's what's up, man. That shit is different, especially like you in there, like some 3 minutes, first off, period, is like, bro, that shit is different. And then you going 3-minute rounds at that. Sometimes more, depending what you got going on, whether it's sparring or competition. Like you say, he's pro levels now.
Yeah.
That shit.
I mean, a long play in football, if somebody runs 100 yards down the field, which is not every play, that takes about 11 seconds, 12 seconds. That's the longest play you get.
They get a little pause. Then you got teammates you can swap out with and stuff now, too.
Yeah.
Boxing ain't no... All these combat sports, ain't no teams, ain't no... people really in there with you, you know what I'm saying? You got your team behind you, like coach and stuff in your corner, and like I said, that's there, but like you got to go in there.
The endurance. If you play football or basketball or tennis or soccer, I recommend do boxing workouts because your endurance goes to a whole. I've had runners come in and 3 minutes of mitts and they looking at me crazy, and I'm like. And I'm looking at them like, man, my boxers don't even run 12 miles and swim and do this other stuff you're doing. No, like, and they're like, it's just different. They stay in there, and they even say, man, everything else got easier. Yeah, everything else got. It's sprinting for your upper body. It's your punching.
That's a good way of putting it. Sprinting for your upper body.
And if you stop punching, you stop moving, they're going to punch you in your shit. Yeah. So that's the mentality you gotta have.
No, facts. Oh, man. Now, that's cool stuff, man. I feel like we covered a lot of great topics, a lot of great points, a lot of stuff that they could take away from this interview right here, you know what I'm saying? Especially people that want to get into boxing. Like I said, it's no better time than right now, you know what I'm saying? And you can find a gym.
We're on fire right now.
Yeah. If you in Central Florida, you got Winter Haven Boxing, you know what I'm saying? Y'all pull up Winter Haven Boxing. Y'all got some stuff coming up. You mentioned some stuff like going on in Winter Haven.
Winter Haven partnered up with Sugarbird. We're doing a tournament in Kissimmee. It's going to be a tier 1 tournament, so it's for the rankings for the United States. Okay. Man, if you're not fighting in it, show up to it. It's going to be lit. I'd bring the cameras in there. You're going to be like, wow, this is dope. It's dope. You see 8-year-olds bumping. It's the cutest thing in the world, man. And then all the way up to even masters. So you might see some boys in there, you know what I'm saying, my age or older, and they're rumbling. Yeah. It's entertaining. It's real. It's the truth. So that's going on. And then my team is going to a tournament in North Carolina, and then we go to the U.S. Nationals. They don't stop.
There's always something going on.
I'm always gone. They're always gone. Yeah, a lot of them are homeschooled now. So
I was gonna say, this came to my mind while you saying all that is the females when it comes to boxing, man. I always say like even at those MMA events I be going to, or even the pros when we go to these events, I always say the females, bro, they're always so fun to watch because they be in that bitch going at it the whole time, bro. Like they'll be throwing the bitches the entire fight. I always say that. Do you think there should be more women in the sport? Because, there's something that people don't know is like a lot of women will go to these boxing gyms and they're fighting men because there's not.
More than likely they're sparring men to learn because it's a lot of people use this term male dominated. That sounds like we're trying to dominate something. It's just a sport that's combat. For the most part, most women don't want to be struck and they don't want to be hit and it's just less natural for them. And then you got some women that got that dog in them and want to learn the sport. And then, I've seen in like real sweetheart girls that are nice as hell. They want to learn it and they get good at it. So it's with the females, it's just less of them want to do it. Less women box. Now, if a young lady is serious and I feel like she has the ability, which because once they get hit, they'll know if they want to do this or not. That they can get ranked quickly. There's not a lot of girls doing it. I wish Willie's daughter.
Yeah.
Willie, that helps with Brandon. Man, I wish that he would let me train his daughter. I think I could make her a star.
She got a dog.
Yeah, and I know the system, and not a lot of girls do it, man. If I get someone that's really serious and young, I'll make her a star. There's a girl over here in Tampa. She's killing it right now. Great smile, great jab, super polite, but she can get down.
You think there should be more women that box, or do you think like?
I don't have an opinion on that because that's up to women. I think it's a good hobby for anybody.
You got to shake regardless.
Like I said, it goes back to that. Yeah, they can play volleyball, and boxing's going to help them. But to compete is different. So
you're right. No, there is two different conversations. When we're talking about training and competing. I was more talking about competing, but you are right. There's two very different things. Somebody going there to train and compete.
You turn up the volume when you want to compete now.
Yeah. Now, because I remember when I first went there, there was somebody who asked me my very first day. I was signing a waiver and stuff like that. And he said, you want to train or you want to compete? Like, what are you here to do? You know what I'm saying? And kind of seeing where my mind was at the time. And like you said, that's two very different things. And I know we had a routine there too. You jump rope, then you shadow box for a few rounds. And then from there, you get into whatever the day is.
Same thing. It's never changed.
There's always a routine, always structure. For those of you that don't have that and need that, man, come check it out. Winter Haven Boxing out here in Polk County. But is there anything you want to leave with them for the end of this interview?
Man, get y'all's butts up and do something. Hit the gym, do something physical. It's too many overweight children, as far as I'm concerned. And I know some people get offended if your child is morbidly obese. That's child abuse on your part.
Offended, man. That's a problem. That shows that you.
That's the problem with this generation. Y'all need to stop being offended. Even now, we got the generation under me. Those parents are they're offended by everything. Listen, man, do right. Get your kid right. It's for their confidence. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And just get up and do something. And be positive every day, man. Be positive. Be kind to people. Try to help somebody.
Yes.
Try to help somebody because it's a lot of BS going around, a lot of gun violence because people get offended by everything. They don't know how to fight. I mean, I could go on and on. Don't know how to fight, so they'd rather shoot someone than get embarrassed. It's a shame. It's a shame. But
these cameras do make a difference, though, too, man. Getting a video, you get your ass beat. It do, man.
Yeah, because me growing up, there was none of that. So if you got your ass whooped, it was like, all right, they talk about it, rah, 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 for like, it's done in 2 months.
On to the next one,
it's not recorded. It's not there now. Kid get his ass whooped. Then they send it. Everybody laughing at it. It lingers. Then people don't know how to act. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They've never had their ass whooped. A lot of these kids have never fought, you know what I'm saying? Even in the rougher neighborhoods nowadays, they're in their video games and stuff. Everybody's spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Even they get embarrassed easy. So yeah, get them into combat sports. Do something physical with them. Do something like that. I encourage the dad. If you got a kid that wants to box, you're a father, bring them in. I encourage the dads to train free. I got a good crew in there right there.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
for sure. And like you said, bro, you have these skills for life, bro. Like you don't lose nothing going into the boxing gym, bro. You gain more than anything. Yeah. Only thing, if you a bitch and you scared, that's the only problem. You know what I mean? But you go in there, work, put the time in, and like I said, things are with you for life. But I appreciate you. For showing love, man. Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll do another one in the future, man. Maybe after some of these events going on, talk about those and tell stories about that. And,
man. I'll get you a media pass for the Burt Show.
Let me know what's up, and I'll come through and look and all that. But,
I see you doing your thing, dog. It's dope.
I'm grinding, man. I'm grinding. Sometimes you got to reinvent yourself. You got to try new things. I have this quote that I look at all the time and say, man, if the plan don't work, change the plan, but not the goal. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
The goal stays the same, but the plan, you might got to go this way. It might be a roadblock. Okay, now I got to go around this way. But I'm still heading towards the same goal. You know what I mean?
That's a good shit.
So that always stuck with me, man. But we'll catch y'all next episode. Stay tuned for all things coming on. Like I said, maybe we'll go into some more of these fights if that's what y'all want to see. If y'all got any questions for us for another interview, go ahead and comment them down below. And we'll catch y'all next episode.